what is it, Tuesday or Wednesday? The 5th episode was on Sunday. The 4th episode was Baddie Mania. So that just feels like what the first episode built to. It feels like we only got through one episode. I barely remember the 5th. I was kind of like, that's it. It just felt like a little bit of a follow-up. Scotty looks a little edgy, but not a huge detour from how she normally looks. Natalie's been taking some detours. I know people say it's Suzanne. I don't know if it is. Because even Suzanne, aka Stunner Girl, people say she looks like an MVU character. So, like, that aesthetic exists. And it's not that different from how the other girls dress anyway. Not different enough. If you can pinpoint something really different, let me know. But, like, they also have colorful wigs. They also wear two-piece sets. I don't know what to say to connect Natalie to Stunner Girl specifically, but that's what everybody says. I just think everyone looks a little more expensive. Like, if you look at season 1 Natalie, she's just wearing like a plain t-shirt with a chain and her braids every day. Or maybe like a wig, but natural colors. Very safe. Oh, and I already forgot about Krishan showing up and talking to Tasiki. I don't like my hair. I didn't do my hair. I already forgot. I feel like I look worse. That Krishan was there because we already got to Baddie Mania. So it's like, oh yeah, they did have dinner and talk about molestation. That should have been a separate show. Or obviously not a show at all, because then the girls are like, yep, it seems like maybe she did, maybe she didn't. Now let's go apple picking. It's a bit weird. Not that all the girls know about it, but maybe they did. Like, it sounds like something they would gossip about behind the scenes. Let's be honest. Why would they not? Because it's a pretty fucked up situation. I think she was honest about this. Yeah, why wouldn't she be? Does it really benefit her to make up a nasty story about her sister when they were kids? Like, that's really, really out there to just concoct a story. And I felt like Tasiki should have been a little more shocked. Like, her reaction, it didn't seem shocked, it seemed hurt. Because granted, she was a kid too, just an older kid. And can we figure out what age she really is? Because I swear she's older than me, and I'm 33. Apparently she's only 30. You are not my little sister's age. That's not a good indicator. My sister's, you would think she's like 14, but Tasiki's younger than me? I don't know. I can accept that Suki is 10 days younger than I am, even though I thought she was older. And this isn't to say they look bad. I'm obviously talking about beautiful women right now. I just thought they were older. And part of it is their demeanor. There is this kind of like authoritative demeanor. And some people have when they're like 18, but obviously they're not 18. So I don't know what that's about. Why did I think they were older? But people do argue about Tasiki's age. I've seen that a lot. I don't think there's any question that Sukihana is like 33 or whatever. Scorpio power. I know I just said I'm a Scorpio. I've cut off a lot of people. Like, someone could stumble upon this video and be like, oh. So, like, being forced to talk to someone, especially a family member, that's not someone else's choice to make, especially on TV.
I don't know what else to say. But thank you.
Amen. Okay.
Crazy.
So sorry, sister. I would never want to be around somebody that did something like that to me. Like, if I did that to you, I would never want to be your sister again. What? It's not making sense, y'all. Please, what is going on? It's not making sense. I don't want to, you know what I mean? I'm going to do what I have to do to make sure I protect myself and my family and my career. She said what she said. She going to stand on it. Let's stand on it.
We're just better off just living our life.
Okay. I feel like my 8th grade English teacher saying this, but they are both dressed in white. So maybe there is something a little darker going on with Tasiki. Because even like how she speaks, she already tried to like respond to herself.
Let's talk about it. You don't want to. So I'm done talking. I have a vocal cord that I actually use for my career.
Stop. Okay, so while my kids are destroying my apartment, I'm just going to clarify that conversation started about jumping. So Krishan didn't really want to talk about the allegations, and I didn't expect Tifa or Tasiki to bring them up like that. Like, that's nothing new because there's been allegations for years. So when I say she doesn't want to talk about it, she doesn't want to talk about it honestly. And it's just not originally what the confrontation was supposed to be about, because it seems like Krishan didn't want to talk about it. She said that they didn't have to. And I remember when Krishan said it in her live, that moment that she said her sister used to touch her in her face. I'm so sorry if she's lying, but I don't think she is at all. I mean, it's all fucked up to watch, but this doesn't really fit. I guess they decided to fit. It's their show, but like the producers, Lemmy, whatever. I don't think Lemmy's watching this and feeling bad for the girls. It's just like, okay, we got the scene. And then all the girls just don't know how to handle it. I guess because they know if it's true they were kids. It's like, how do you move forward? As Rashawn said, can we move forward? That moment of like, hey, I think you guys just need to talk. Like, if I'm not talking to someone, I don't want to talk. I didn't need someone else to like facilitate. I don't know if I have suggestions for how to handle it on or off camera, but I know we don't trust Zeus to really value these girls before putting something like that out there. Sorry, the thing probably moved, but anyway, the girls kind of look all cardboard cutouts. Instagram, some a little cuter than others, I guess. Some might have more of a signature color. Like I know Tinkerbella said she likes orange. I can't think of something that's not already trending. I feel like a lot of people have been wearing orange since Sweetie, and then like SZA with the hair, and just I don't know if orange has ever been that popular and trending. No, we had the Pablo t-shirts, like 2016-ish, 2015. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'm seeing like tastemakers on the show, and that's not an insult, but like they are trying to fit a mold. I don't think Baddies is about being different, and that's why I enthusiastically love Big Lex, and that's why I'm actually like looking forward to watching. I'm invested. I've invested in the BGC universe since 2016, but it's weird to call myself a fan. Like I'm here because I need to talk about it, not because like yes, I want to be just like Anna or something. Um, I guess we'll get to Anna because I know people like to approach these girls like, oh, you either love her or you hate her. I don't feel that way about most of these girls. Do I hate anyone? I love Big Lex. I don't think I've ever loved a cast member, but I'm already building some trust with her parasocially because even the way she explained the Emma thing, you know, I don't like to see a nice girl with a mean girl. It always makes me sad, especially when I was a new kid in 8th grade, because like Alyssa DeBonis is so sweet to me, but then her friends are like dot dot dot. Um, I'm already like, what was I gonna say? We're going through the fashion a million times. Natalie's starting to look like emo or something. I don't like the forced mediation between Tasiki and Krishan. Not everything can be mediated. We need to kill that idea that everything could be mediated. Like, I'm sure you can think of plenty of examples of things that can't be mediated. If I walk down the street right now and someone randomly punches me in my face, I'd be pretty pissed if someone's like, what's going on? Let's just talk this out, because there's two sides to every story, but then there's the truth. Feeling the need to do something like that to a child? Why would that even cross your mind unless it was done to you? I'm used to abuse that's a lot harder to pinpoint and define. Like, emotional abuse is like, how could you even have an episode of The Conversation? You know? Emotional abuse is like, good luck being confused for the rest of your fucking life and being your own cheerleader as everybody tells you you're wrong. You might get a few people who like see where you're coming from. With the trafficking allegations surrounding Zeus and everything, it can be kind of hard to watch on an ethical level, but I don't think BGC was ethical either. And I don't know if it's right for me to watch. It's interesting to see all the Biggie stuff because we met her in a way that like just doesn't match up to who she is now. It's sort of like watching the beginning of any of these shows and you see someone introduce themselves like, I don't start fights, I finish them, but then you see how they really fight and you see how they really act. Sometimes people pretend like they're really confrontational and they're not. I just feel like with Biggie, it wasn't even just her intro, it was like how she spoke with I almost said Suzanne, with Sun Girl, and she didn't seem afraid of her or anything. Biggie just kind of seemed like a mean girl who could fight a little bit. And I think she still is, but like she's not in an environment where she's the strongest one. I feel like in another setting, maybe she wouldn't hesitate to be like a Natalie Nunn or something, because Biggie's always being told to defend herself, but then like look what she did to Smiley, you know. And I didn't even like Smiley, which kind of reminds me of the Lex stuff, but I'm fast forwarding. The Gretch thing, we've just watched Daryl on TV for so many years. It's kind of hard to make like a short, succinct speech about why you think she's a bully, because even as Asian Doll said, she is a loving person. I think, Jayla. Um, but I feel like when she fought larger opponents, it's sort of like with Natalie. Like Natalie at first was trying to soothe Rolly, but then she ended up fighting her because she knew how she looked not fighting Rolly. So I don't know if Lex necessarily said something wrong. I just think that they both kind of told the truth. Like, yes, Jayla fought larger people, but like, she's not about to lose her reputation. Didn't really step up to the plate with Ivory in the same way. A little more submissive. I've never seen Jayla that submissive, even though she tried to still have the regular air of confidence that she usually has, and you know, speak clearly and directly and confidently. That's not how that was going to go with anybody else, and Lex proved it on the spot. I said one thing to you when you're this mad, but then with Lex, you're like pleading your case, or I'm sorry, with Ivory. But yeah, Biggie already knew Krishan, and nobody talks about that. Like, she said that she was a promoter for her before the show. That's why Krishan pulled her aside to try to tell her to calm down at that dinner with Tommy and Suzanne. Maybe they just weren't that close, just knew each other, because I'm just missing how she got so comfortable talking about Krishan on TV. Like, she did that at the reunion. Like, she's so ungrateful. Didn't Biggie have a moment of calling out Zeus too? And why is it your business if she's ungrateful? Like, I'm confused. I guess she's just trying to support Tasiki. Anna just seems like annoying little sister vibes because they both are not that nice. You know, how Anna's being snappy at the doctor's office and Biggie's like, what the fuck? There are probably times that that's Biggie and Anna's like, what the fuck? So I think that they forgive each other because they both know they can be, you know, a little sassy. Krishan doesn't seem to acknowledge Biggie either, so that's kind of interesting. I've noticed that and I don't see people talking about it. I thought Jayla said it perfectly when she talked about the maturity of the conversation and how pure her energy was talking to Krishan. That was really sweet. I kind of like this Come and Find Out song a little bit. Like, are we supposed to like the music? I do think Matt Cash makes good songs and has good taste. I still feel confused that he's like performing on couches alone at the reunion. Was there even an audience?
You know, top two when she not two. You know, head done and the nails too. You know, that's a baddie.
I did see some posts confused about Scotty's hairstyle. I was a little taken aback. I don't know if she would have worn this on any season or if it's like a Midwest thing. Like, do you see the girls kind of adjusting their fashion for the Midwest or being the same? Because I felt like Natalie did a little bit. But that could have been just the promo when she's like wearing black leather and a cowboy hat or something. Is that what she was wearing? Maybe with Scotty, it was supposed to be more of like a 1950s thing. I took it more as a mullet. I think everyone took it as a mullet. So, I don't know. People have been liking mullets for years now. It's not as much of like a joke hairstyle. I mean, she didn't look bad, but not my favorite look for her. And I'm just wondering if it's like supposed to be a theme or like why. I don't know if Darren Christopher did this look. My favorite look is still his Hello Kitty look he did for Scotty. That was amazing. That was cute with Krishan coming in with the slow-mo. I don't know why they had. I'm sorry, I just have to bring this up. On Bad Boys, Prince walked into the room and he kind of did like this or something. I don't know what the fuck he did. But they had him walking in with this like smooth music, like, yeah, Prince just walked into the room. And then it was just kind of like, blah, 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 when he does this like head shake. I have to clip it. Because I was just like, what? Is this what they do on Love and Hip Hop? Because I don't watch that show.
Let's get it poppin'. Yeah.
So that's the type of thing that's like, like this is different from the Bad Girls Club. I think my parents watched Love and Hip Hop because I definitely saw Erica Mena years ago at 2016 Pride. I didn't know who Trina was either. I was with my friend.
Because that was my friend.
He loved Trina. I'm like, let's get in the front then. I see this girl screaming as the hype woman. I'm like, she's from a show my parents watch. I love this moment with Jayla and Krishan. I think she's absolutely right. This beautiful energy shift happened, even if not everyone has faith in Krishan. I totally agree with what Jayla said. And she knows how to phrase things. Sometimes she just knows exactly how to say something, exactly how to phrase it. I think she did really well trying to speak to Gretchen. She even said facetious. Like, Jayla, you are so Mariah Carey with the vocabulary right now. I feel like I can't pick a lane with Jayla. It's sort of like with all the girls. I just don't love or hate them. Like, I don't think she's a terrible person. I don't know if I would trust her to always be nice to me. You know, maybe get a little snappy, because she said that about Natalie. Like, oh, she could be kind of a bitch, but I'm the same way. Something along those lines. Maybe I can find exactly what she said. But that's when they started to, like, hang out publicly. And it was a little confusing because we always saw Jayla as, like, someone who would be more dominant than Natalie. And I think in a way she is. They benefit from each other. It's sort of like my parents as a couple. Like, one of them is trying to, like, be in closer proximity to, like, maybe wealth or privilege in some way, whereas the other side just thinks that person is cool. I think Natalie just thinks Jayla is cool. I don't know if Jayla thinks Natalie is cool. In a way, maybe. She's a little more in touch with her blackness and proud of it in a way that's not, like, really delayed. I'm going to stay in my quadroon lane and stop talking about this. I feel like when I talk about biracial people, I'm talking about my parents. I get it, like someone like an Anna or a T, where it's like, don't call me this or that because I'm actually mixed. Like, I get it, but like, I'm also going to take note of things like privilege, cultural differences. It's okay to like say what's going on. I'm not saying that like, don't call someone mixed when they're mixed, or like, you're not letting someone be mixed. I know all that stuff. I know how it feels to tell somebody what I am, and they're kind of like, well, this is what I think you should identify as, and this is what I see you as. I get it. It's annoying, you know, but we had the Gretchen situation. I still wouldn't carry myself the way Gretchen did, and honestly, Callie was so nice to her about it, like unimaginably patient. I don't think the fight was fake though, but she like had sneakers on, so it kind of seems like it was. Like, why do you have sneakers on? I don't know. So we're starting episode 2. I agree with Akbar's assessment of Jaden. I surprisingly kind of like Jaden. I just saw her as like some other white girl who said the N-word, even though I know she's mixed. I don't care. I'm mixed too. So I don't know if she's still like that, like one of those non-black Latinos trying to claim they're a little black, so maybe they can do something and say something. I don't know. I haven't seen her use the word on the show. Jayla hasn't, you know, punched her, so maybe she's not saying it, because that's my only real issue with Jaden. Like, what else does Jaden really do that's bad? I was trying not to get into this because of my background, but I just don't want it to come across like I think something different. Even though there's always going to be someone like Sapphire who's like, I don't care that you say the word, I care about the other disrespectful stuff. Once you're like Gretch and you say the word, and some people care, some people don't, once someone corrects you, it's pretty dehumanizing for you to just be like, I don't care. Um, I heard that conversation about like she chased Krishan and Krishan fell and lost her tooth. Supposedly that wasn't really Jaden. She sent her friends after her. So she is sending someone to jump a girl. So like that loses some cool points for me. But I also like I wasn't around. I wasn't paying attention to Krishan when she was like 19. That's probably around the time it happened. And Krishan is a bit younger than these people. They found her very young. You know, I know that she's not a kid, but I'm not the type to be like, well, she's grown now, so don't feel bad for her. Like, she barely had a chance. Like, she didn't even get to go into her 20s without an abuser on her back. And his angry, like, baby's mother, like, I don't want to say wife. I don't know what that is. And how is Jaden supposed to get over him? They're high school sweethearts. So it's just really sad. Remember Rocky went to Blueface's house around the time Blue Girls Club started? That was random. I wonder if Rocky would be on the show if like she had a better relationship with Natalie, because it seems like they still brought Camila. So I'm wondering like why would they not bring Rocky? Because you know that she wants to hold on to that M-word shit. I don't know. Because I'm sure she wants to be on the show. I don't think she like doesn't want to be on the show. She started a podcast. I don't know if she's still doing it. That to me means that you kind of still want to be on the show. You joined the project eagerly with OnlyFans. So anyway, Jaden, um, if I try to like sum them up, she and Blue almost resemble my parents. So I think in terms of race, like, yeah, Blue is like the dominant one because he's the man. He like probably controls her image a little bit, but Jaden still participates in that. So I don't want to like let her off the hook. I'm just gonna say she seems nice right now. She even went out of her way to defend Anna. I like stuff like that. I like people who defend other people. I don't know why Biggie is like alone at the end of the couch with Rolly crying and everyone huddled on the other side. But Rolly says something pretty important here, that filming Baddies is an escape from the stress of family life. And you can imagine these girls have been through a lot. They're signing up for a fighting show. As Mariah said, all these girls have a sob story. I just think the way she said it made her an asshole. Obviously, the interviews are filmed like at a separate time from the actual scene we're watching. I think they film about weekly. So they're kind of giving a recap of the week. That's why sometimes the reactions seem a bit off, or you're just like, why would she say that about her? It's probably because she already punched her in the face and we didn't see it yet. So I don't know if Natalie's like specifically talking about this scene they're showing, but it's so funny how she's like feeling so good with all the baddies and like everyone they show is like half her age. It's like I get that it's your show, but like I'm 33. It's normal for me to have friends 10 years younger and 10 years older. But to see Natalie be like, I'm finally with the baddest girls, and they're all 10 to 15 years younger than her, except Akbar. I don't know how old she is. I'm sorry. I did laugh a little bit. Okay. I'm noticing Akbar's beauty, but I also wrote that in my notes before I started to dislike her. I'm kind of like, can I take it back? I was definitely noticing her beauty. Yeah, I don't know. Should I go there? Should I be mean? If I don't like someone, I can still say they're good looking, and I can say they're not good looking and not feel bad if I think they deserve it. Like, insulting someone's looks, you see girls get over it on the show all the time. I feel like that's insulting someone to the point of no return. Once I've insulted your looks, I don't care. We're not gonna talk anymore. What's interesting about this scene is Natalie's visibly drunk, and I don't remember seeing her visibly drunk. I've seen her drinking, but I've never been like, oh shit, she's pretty drunk, since probably when she randomly attacked Kendra in the bushes. I'm not sure if these are the exact same couches from the Baddies East reunion, but they look like them, and I pretty much have the same couches. I'm sorry if I keep talking about myself. If that's not what you're looking for, I am talking about like my experience with the show and watching the show. I'm not just trying to recap it for you guys, because honestly, I'm watching these episodes like multiple times to even take notes, because I have really bad ADHD, and I'm about to talk about that. It's hard for me to pay attention to just like montages of like buildings and twerking and going to the club, like really long FaceTime calls. For some reason, they always show Natalie's feet when she's on a FaceTime call. It's like, are they trying to insert some foot fetish stuff? I'm like kind of tired of Natalie's feet right now. It's always like, hey, Sky, and then it's like zoom out and Natalie's barefoot. Like, I think I just hate feet, so I always notice. I don't know. It's giving Tarantino a little bit. But yeah, the raw, uncut FaceTime calls really need to go. Jayla's commentary is me as a mom, except I have ADHD and anxiety, and they really work together. Very distracting. Definitely me as a mom, because I didn't know I could get overstimulated like that. The way I kind of need to speak rhetorically now to camera, I don't get that in real life. I don't want to bother my friends. They're kind of nerdy. They do not care about baddies. I was just telling a guy on Hinge, I'm sorry, but I am passionate about this. Because they're going to ask what you like to do. I'm like, nothing. Someone who reminds me of Jazz, BGC 14, is here. Her name also happens to be Jazz. I thought I heard that wrong. Anna is definitely making my same where is the weed face. Seemingly everyone wants to get fucked up. They could have some nerves, but maybe they're physically uncomfortable. Like, maybe they need to eat. I know if I had to be on a show like this, I'd be mad if you don't let me shower twice a day. Like, morning and night. I want to go to bed after showering. I want to wake up and shower. But I also feel like I would need to shower during the day. I don't want to sound like that girl who's like, oh my God, I shower 3 times a day and I'm so much cleaner than everybody else. No, I'm not. But like, this is a show where like, I don't know, maybe if I wore a different outfit, they have you like sitting in spaces that probably get humid, like the van and everything. And like, they tend to be wearing like tight sets with leggings. I'd be really pissed if I'm like wearing leggings for 12 hours and can't take a shower. So I'm kind of curious, like, when do they get to shower besides like 11 p.m. or something if they're not going out? Like, literally, when do you get to shower? I know that they carve out some time, but I feel like it's not enough time, because I'm seeing girls in the same outfits when I'm like not expecting to. Sprinter fight happens. Same thing as like Biggie and Suzanne. Like who's everybody? Or no, Rolly, when she started to be like, who's everybody? And Ivory, if I didn't hear about her before the show, I would think maybe she's a little nervous because she stumbles over her words a lot. Maybe that's why she's quicker to fight, because she hears me being like, you popping. Like, I would probably be kind of mad. Like, I just heard myself stumble like that, and I'm just gonna hit you. Maybe she does feel like she's not strong with her words. I think we saw similar stuff with BGC. Like, Sarah just keeps hanging on to this comment. Like, she said, everyone. Replacements are better than all of us. She's talking about all of us. And then even like, if you notice, there's too many like overlapping voices in this scene. But way back, BGC 6, Corey versus Ashley. So first they start arguing and more people approach like, hey, what's going on? And Corey's like, she's talking about all of us in here. So she has to like bring everyone else into it and hopefully get validation. Maybe Ivory feels like if I just sit and let this happen, people will take that as they can treat me however they want. That's the only explanation I can come up with, because it does seem a little like, really, you're this upset? So I think she wanted to like set the tone. I don't agree with it, but that's the only thing that makes sense to me. And then calling out the other girls is kind of like saying, if you don't agree with me, you're playing it safe. And those girls didn't have anything to say to her. Because wasn't it Pretty P and Dolly? But then Pretty P immediately tries to fight Lex. And Dolly, I don't know why she didn't say anything. I mean, she walked away from Tasiki, so I guess this was her way of walking away from Ivory. I really don't know. Because she was fighting random people at the auditions. Like, she didn't know if one of them could secretly fight more than they look like. I don't know if I would immediately see Tasiki and think that she's a really good fighter. Like, even the way she's walking after her, it's like she's not even trying. Tasiki just looks like somebody's mom walking down the street with her purse. I think she took her purse off, but like she was like barely moving, and Dolly's like running away in that preview. Like, Tasiki, I don't know. Like, she barely even moves her shoulders. Like, how are you so effortless? So I heard that orange outfit girl fought like a man, but she seems very quiet and poised. So that was my initial reaction to Big Lex in my notes. Now I'm like all about her, so I really wish I had filmed this right away, because it's like weird to pretend that I'm reacting to something and I can't do that. I could be projecting a little bit, but I'm usually that quiet person sitting in the corner, and it really sucks when someone's like, Kelsey's not talking to us. I guess she doesn't want to hang out. It's like, do you guys think I'm pretty or something? Because if somebody else didn't want to talk to you, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't like keep talking about it. Like, right? Like, why would it bother you? I'm not sitting here thinking about how you didn't talk to me or hang out with me. Like, am I supposed to start the plans? Like, that stuff is weird. Like, I definitely related to Lex in that moment. And she was the only one who got visibly frustrated. She didn't hit Ivory until Ivory started being hostile. And of course, Pretty P doesn't have a problem with that, because she probably knew who Ivory was. Even I did, and I don't watch Now That's TV. Definitely not the same as BGC, because they're trying to make it seem like you don't have to fight on this show, but you kind of do. Like, even Scotty does. So I tried to go back and find the Big Lex fight, and she's in orange. I don't remember that. It seemed vaguely familiar when they did a replay, but then I couldn't actually go find it, so I don't know what the fight was about or whatever. But from what I'm seeing, she's not even hitting anybody first. Like, she's not fighting people who don't want to fight. And I think that's what she was trying to say about Jayla later. Because Big Lex, if nobody attacked her, she could very easily just not have a fight. And even Jayla said about herself that she like eggs things on and keeps going and going. Lex will act like the girls are not even there, until there's a problem. I think it's important to talk about how we received the first viewing, because you're not always looking in the background. You could miss some details and stuff. The way that they like can't even get through a simple car ride without fighting, it honestly reminds me of my years in homeless shelters. You guys would probably fight over a microwave, It feels like crabs in a barrel, everyone clamoring for last place type thing. But they don't see it that way. They think they're like fighting for top place. Similar to a shelter fight, because it was a women's shelter, so we don't really have men to fight about. It's like the worst reason to fight, but at least there's some like emotion attached to it, instead of just feeling like I have to assert myself. I really don't know what playing it safe means in this context. I'm wondering if she explained more. I doubt it, but if she did, they cut it. Because to me, her version of playing it safe, just like with Pretty P, is to make herself known before someone comes for her. Like, she's trying to get in front of it. She really is trying to assert dominance immediately. That's what safety means to her. Maybe I'm just such a different person from Ivory, I don't get it. But like, even if they were playing it safe, are you just mad that they're not jumping in to argue with you? Because like, why are you thinking about that? Are you their teacher? Are you like coaching them to be better baddies, bad girls, like whatever? Like, what was the point? I don't get that at all. And those girls didn't say shit except for Lex. So I don't know why Dolly has anything to say about anything. I did not realize who Dolly was because I'm starting to see the cast. I'm like, okay, Lex is beautiful. She's probably going to be a mean girl. Doesn't seem to be true now. Dolly, very strikingly beautiful. And I'm like, oh, it's that girl who seems a little nuts. But like, now she seems so normal. She doesn't seem like this girl who's just practically windmilling around with her eyes closed. Like, that was just like, can we get some dialogue, please? Like, that was really weird. I don't know why she got on the show. It's like, I don't even remember her talking. I just remember her fighting everybody and like looking crazy. So it's like weird to see her humanized now because it's like, oh, it's sort of like when you first see Diamond the Body speak. Because first she just seems like this random bully, but then you see that she doesn't take herself that seriously. Even the way she goes, stinka, like, that's why people thought of Anne more. It wasn't just about their complexion. Something about the way they talk, it's like they won't let up, but they're still laughing at themselves. So anyway, with Ivory, I think that she has her defense mechanisms. I don't understand calling other people out unless that's also part of your defense mechanism. Because all I'm hearing is like, hey guys, you're playing it really safe and you're not using the defense mechanism that I do to feel safe. I like Rolly's wig colors. We cut back to them. Hopefully no fights over here. But I'm definitely getting some shelter PTSD with just the randomness of the fight. Now I'm watching feeling like, even though I'm just a fly on the wall, wow, I'm tired of being around all these people. And I don't understand this thing with casting so many people. Like, now we have this huge web of interpersonal drama, and randomly some of the women are 40. Kim K says she's in her 40s. She feels like she'll only look good for 10 more years. They're just saying no age limit at the auditions. I thought the age limit was 40. I just assumed. They're saying no age limit. So maybe that's just so Natalie doesn't have to age out. I think she's turning 40 probably this year. Isn't her birthday on Christmas or something? I don't know if they're gonna do the same thing by like eliminating boring people like last season. Maybe that's why Emma felt the need to fight for a spot. Maybe she thought it was like the same format. I don't know. I don't think she cares about format. I think that like in real life, Scotty bothers her. Like, I don't think it was just a producer thing, but it's kind of pathetic either way. Like, why do you care that much? I just don't see what Summer said that was so bad that she deserved to get hit. We even saw season 12. This might have just been in therapy. I don't know if she said it to the other girls, but Britt said none of the girls tried her and she kind of like wanted them to. So like, we have a lot of moments like that where they are low-key talking about everyone. I think Leah did it too. And it sometimes becomes a power struggle, like with Rolly, and sometimes it doesn't. So now we have the pink girl fighting Summer and some really wrong captions. We have real instead of weird. We have near instead of weird. And we have frolic instead of problem. This new jazz seems nice. I don't understand if it's that serious with Summer or if she's just afraid of Ivory. I mean, I honestly laughed when Summer called her scary when she like barely got a word out.
Detroit in this bitch. Fuck. Win, lose, or draw. Okay, look, we is in Detroit, you feel me? But you know. Man, Jazz, ain't nobody trying to hear all that scary shit you talking, bitch. Ain't nobody trying to hear all that scary ass shit you talking now.
Because I know what she means. Like, she's trying to correct her and she doesn't want to hear it. She can already tell she's about to correct her, but doesn't even know how to because there isn't much to correct. Am I wrong? Like, she's just excited to be on the show and saying that she's ready for anybody, and now it's like a conflict that goes on for hours. I keep feeling like the car is going to crash. Way too many cast members. Is it annoying that I just think it's too many cast members? Am I like the only one who feels that way? Because it's just too confusing. There's too much going on. It's not as interesting. Of course, people are going to fight to be seen. And what really pisses me off is I can see the reunion already and that third row of seats already. Just put them on the couches. Why do we have 3 rows of seats? I would be mad if I had to sit in the chair. Don't invite me to the reunion. I'm having a hard time eating with the sheer level of twerking close-ups with this show. But like, what is the point? Because we see all the fights clipped. So to have the actual experience of watching the show, is it just for people to like have dinner with their family on Sunday nights? Like, what is the point when the fights are already posted and getting clipped? Like, I don't know. I don't know what anyone else gets out of it. I was even talking to someone who said people just watch for Scotty, for eye candy. I also don't know much about Ivory yet, so I'm assuming she just kind of said it for herself and like her own self-preservation. I'm wondering if she noticed Summer like bothering everybody else, so she wanted to like be the one to speak. And then maybe it was sort of like with Anna and Biggie, where she like wanted other people to speak. I don't really have an opinion on Summer because I don't see her as trolling as much as everyone thinks she is. But she's definitely not gonna leave. She's gonna have to go through something devastating to leave. I can tell she's not gonna leave. Summer looks like she's sitting in church. This reminds me of another church fight. The captions continue. I speak as a consumer, not a content creator. They just had me thinking Jazz was colorist, and I had to wait a week to find out that they got the caption wrong. So Akbar is shown like all over Biggie in the preview yelling at her, and is a little confusing and seemingly out of nowhere. And I have to say, watching the episode, I feel the same way. Why? We finally have episode 4, Baddie Mania. We have Ho and Hold being said simultaneously. So BGC was a different torture chamber. No weed allowed. These girls are smoking and like smoking to get ready to film a recorded fight, and like girls are looking like they're about to do gymnastics, but really they're about to record a fight. So it's just such a weird scenario. Like, I have to get in these girls' brains. Do you not feel so bizarre right now? The OGs look stressed. I don't know how to feel. I don't know who deserves what. I think Pretty P is just mean. So even though I don't really know how nice or mean Tinkerbella is, like I'm still like not sure how to read her. I like that she felt passionate enough to stick up for Diamond. That I didn't realize they were that close and that their song was together.
When the DJ played me and Tink's song, he played it without my verse.
Dealing with all these newcomers is kind of crazy. They're making it look like the public schools kids just showed up at the private school. And the other girls are a little bit like older and more mature and maybe a little scared. I actually feel proud of Lex as if I know her. I just feel like I'm 10 years older than her and I'm like looking up to her and not Jayla, who's a year older than me. Lex, can I hide behind you when I'm bullied? And the Biggie thing, I agree. I don't know why Akbar is so passionate about that. Yelling at someone to defend themselves is crazy. Why is this a yelling scenario? And do you expect Biggie to say thank you? Because I don't think Biggie's that nice either. I think that she did the same thing to Smiley. But this is very random. Okay, here goes a female genitalia or panty related insults. Can I say white people don't really do that? Because I went to a white high school, and now as an adult, I'm hearing like, oh, that's a thing in non-white high schools. Like, they're going to talk about your pussy. I have to really honor what Dolly says here. I like the compassion for Summer, whereas Ivory is just like, well, you said you have roaches, like, in front of everybody. Because I didn't grow up in homeless shelters, so there was a little sense of like, oh, like, some people have been doing this shit their whole lives. Like, I didn't even know what an EBT card was when I went there in like 2019. Scotty is getting more used to fights. You know how I feel it? I grew up in the suburbs of New Jersey. So I saw some fights in middle school, nothing too crazy. But then when I moved to a new town in 8th grade, it was like upper middle class white town plus some Asians. Fights were not frequent at all. I can remember like 2 that happened in school. I heard of maybe 2 or 3 things that happened when people were like drunk. But like fighting in school wasn't really much of a thing. Because one girl did that and went right back to Patterson. And I think some guys fought and I like heard about it because it was in the cafeteria. So I've been in different types of environments, and I'm definitely picking up on some stuff that's like normal here, not normal there. So I'm like a young, quiet girl in Jersey, very like quiet, sitting in the corner. I was the same way in the shelter. However, I can tell Scotty's getting used to this constant like hostile environment, pretty much like living in a DV house. But I can tell she's getting used to it just because she's around it all the time. Like, even though I like to be quiet and nice and sit in a corner, I did notice as time went on, not just in my 20s, but in the shelter, like when I did raise my voice and shit, it didn't feel as foreign. Because, like, how can you not lose your shit sometimes when you're around people 24/7 and they're intentionally putting you in a stressful scenario? So I relate to Scotty here, even though I don't blindly agree with her because I've watched her for a few seasons. I'm very proud of Lex for sticking up for Summer, not taking things seriously, and just like Dolly, not trying to get an easy fight because everyone kind of can assess Summer's skill level when she literally fights everybody. I don't see Lex as trying to move up a food chain because she does treat everyone with respect until she's disrespected. So I don't think she supports there being some type of hierarchy there and pecking order. I think that she's just not going to take abuse. I've seen comments about Ivory. I don't think she's beating the bully allegations. I am curious to know if she already knew Diamond, because I'm not seeing them interact and they're from the same network, but sort of like how Julie says to Meg, there's got to be more to you than that. For season 9 BGC Cancun, that's kind of how I'm feeling about Ivory. It's like, okay, we get it, she's gonna fight, but like, can we talk about something else or just learn something else? She fought Big Lex and didn't just lie like she whooped her. I think that she gave a pretty honest assessment. So like that was cool. Kind of just seeing tension. Like, can we get more than just Ivory's inner tension? Like, hey Ivory, what's your favorite color? Like, what do you like to do? What song do you like? What traumatized you most as a child, girlfriend? So that's wrapped up, and my takeaway is I really respect Lex. Everyone else is the same to me, except there's some complexity to Scotty. Sort of like how I was saying, Biggie and Anna are always going to be friends because they can't really fault each other for doing shit that they personally do. They're like, oh, well, I'm not always nice either. That's kind of how I see all the girls, sort of like Tinkerbella. I think she's usually nice, but once in a while I'm kind of like, oh, that was a little sassy. So they're kind of all similar. Like, they can be nice, but they don't want to be too nice. Lex doesn't have a problem being nice, but also defending herself. So that's what everyone claims to be. This whole I don't start fights, I finish them. Everyone pretends to be that, but that's actually her. I cannot decode what I typed. Something about being passionate. So even though it's a fight show, it gets a little too weirdly staged. Like, I'm not saying the fights are completely like choreographed, but they're just a little forced and fans aren't quite that dumb, or viewers. It's kind of weird to say fans because I think a lot of us have complex feelings about watching something like this. It's just a little forced. It's like an announcement. So I'm not a huge fan of like the organized fighting. Because I'm not someone who just likes fights. Context is everything. Who wants to see all these fights with no context? I'm not like an action movie viewer. Like, we're all talking about drama and conflicts. So it's like, we need a storyline that's not just like, hey, you're going to have a storyline, you know? I can't explain it, but it's a little, it's not natural. And like, honestly, if Lex wasn't there, it would be way less enjoyable because there's just like nothing redeeming. Like, really, Baddie Mania, we just had 20 forgettable fights. That's absolutely crazy. So it's just too much with too many people. I think Caribbean turned out okay, even though it was way too many people. It's kind of like they're trying to put 2 seasons in one all the time. Because, like, we're definitely forgetting about the beginning of the season. That would happen with BGC sometimes, but this goes from, like, Krishan to, like, Emma and Lex. Like, there's just no connection. But It's not just the fact that they're stressed out and the cameras just happen to catch them getting out of character. Even Lex and Tasiki, I believe, both said that they had not fought in years before the show. So I don't think that they're just like getting stressed out and now they fight. I think that's part of it. But like some of this is a little bit too pre-planned. I don't know how to suggest to do the show ethically because I don't know if there's a way. But getting a bunch of new 23-year-olds to come in and force themselves to fight is kind of gross. And I'll be tuning in on Sunday.